Hello, welcome to a new video on the FLTK C++ series. In one of my other videos on using FLTK Rust to create a Flutter-like demo application, they asked if I could basically create a C++ version of that tutorial. This is what we're going to do today. So basically I just have a main file, and I have the Rust code as a reference. If you remember from the Rust video, we basically have our constants here, the main layout of the application, and all the theming, all at the end of the basically the program. And the program is about 60 lines of code. So we'll just go ahead and try to just port it. One of the advantages of the FLTK Rust bindings are that they are pretty close to the C++ bindings, so you can basically just port it over quite easily. So let's get on with it. I have the main file here, so first thing, let's create a main function, and let's form our imports. Let's create a window first. We'll need some buttons as well, and enumerations for the colors. So basically getting a window is basically the same code as here. We don't have an abstract, however we have the FL struct, which we can call run upon. So just go with return FL run. And to create a window, basically go auto win, for example. And here we give it width and height of 600 and 400. So let's just get these first here. Define width, we can make these basically capitalized, since these are defined. So and we have some colors here, but we'll use the RGB values in our program. Here we can say width, height. So basically the window has a constructor which only takes width, height, and a label. So we can say, for example, here it's called flutter-like. And we can go ahead and compile using the FLT config. So this gives us our window here. Usually I like to create a wrapper when I'm using C++, just so I can use lambdas for the callbacks. So we'll include functional, which is the standard header for std function. And we'll create a class called Widget wrapper, and this can be templated. Of course, T will be a widget, so You can add some std enable if derived from widget, FL widget, but for the simplicity, we'll just skip this. So we have a callback function here, and we'll add the constructor, which takes the same arguments as our widgets, so int x, y, int width, int height. And we'll add our own callback here. So for our callback, we'll take a std function, which is our type def here. And basically, we'll just add a shim function. So let's call it just callback, get static, which is what's passed as the callback for any FLTK widget. So this is the signature that FLTK expects, and we'll be passing the lambda as the data variable here. So this will be our function, and here you just cast it to a std function and then dereference it, and then we call the function on the widget. So I'll just check this compiles. Okay. So now let's create a button, for example, using our widget wrapper. So and then let's give it anything. So this is our button here, and let's check that our set callback method works. So and just say here, which is our button. So for some reason, yes, because we don't call this. So here we can just say this callback, and we'll pass it the callback shim and the func as a pointer. Okay, so this works. So we can now go ahead basically translating everything here. So here we have a basically frame is in FL box. So basically it's just called frame in Rust, so that doesn't conflict with the box smart pointer in Rust. Since we know this works. So basically it's an FL box at the top, so auto bar. Basically I need to also import the header itself. And this says FLTK app. And has an alignment left inside, so here. So you can see basically the same. So here we have to import FLBox. And then we have a text field in the middle of the window, which says you have pushed the button, whatever. This is also a frame. So the center, since this is a 140, so let's just say 550, or sorry, so this is 200, 180, and here 250. Basically copy this. And then we have another FL box with the count. So this will be just below the text. You can use the X plus, so the same X basically, and the height, or the Y, plus 40, and the width will be the same, and the height will be the same. And this has a label of 0. And then we have our button here. Yeah, basically this. So here we use one of the attributes of FLTK, which basically can translate these into signs, basically. So let's just look how this looks like. Okay, maybe move this a bit here. Okay. Yep. Okay. So now we can start theming our application, which will follow the theming in here. Let's just add the callback first. And here we're going to be using a lambda. So basically this takes the label of the count as an int, and then just increments it and sets the label. So let's say auto label. We'll have to pass the count. And then basically we'll use the just the formatter from the libc standard IO file. Basically and here this will be the label, and then the basically copy the label, since this is a temporary, and this will be the buffer. And here we have this. Oops, wrong. So take the label itself. Oops, the count. Okay, so this works. And now we get to the theming. So basically the theming code is basically also the same. So app background is FL background basically. So here. And the first thing is that we set the first bar, the frame type or the box type, the label size, etc. So here. The label size. The label color, which is white. The color of the bar itself. And here we use a custom color, So we use the blue from here. Which is basically this. We have to fix this, since this should be an RGB. Okay. And then the draw implementation, will add another class with an overrided draw. We'll do this at the end of the video. And now the text. So the first thing here, we use label size 18 and the font times. And then the count, label size 36, and the label color is this gray. So same thing we did here. And the last thing is the button, which is, if you noticed, it's an oval flat frame. So if we just take this, copy it here. So here, this becomes this. So this becomes box. This is label color. This is selection color. This is color. So this is the blue from the bar itself. And the selection color is this value here. And the label color is FL white. And the flat frame, flat box. Let's just check this. Okay, so we already have this, and if you remember, we wanted to draw a shadow at the bottom here, so we'll use our own FL box, or we'll implement the FL box with a custom draw, or we can draw it inside the window itself. So let's go with the first thing, my box. This basically takes these. This is a virtual function. Just check this builds. Okay. And now to add the draw. Basically, we call draw RGB color and the rect F. Give us draw. Okay. Is it? I can't remember. So. Just check quickly. I'll just pause this. Okay, so we use the FLTK F. So here FLTK F, and we can also pass the color and the overload. So the color is some grayish color here. Okay. Just format this. We'll be using our own my box here for the bar. And you can see the shadow here, and this works as expected. So if you look again at the code, basically we just include the necessary FLTK headers. We define width and height. We just type def the callback type function. We create our own box widget, which is derived from FLBox. The only difference is that it has a rect F, a draw, basically an overridden draw function. We create our own widget wrapper, which basically wraps any widget. The advantage is that it gives us a set callback, which takes basically a functional std function, a lambda. We can pass a temporary, and then int main. We create our window, the bar at the top, the alignment for the bar, text, count, button, window, and we show it, and then we start creating the theming. We give a background color of white, visible focus false. We specify the box type for the bar, which is a flat box, label size 22, label color white, and the color of the bar itself is this bluish color. The label size of the text, the label font for the text, the count, label size, the label color, the color of the button, selection color, the label color, and the box type of the button, which makes it round. And then we set the callback for the button itself. And we get this. And we check the application size, so main, it's about 1 megabyte if we strip it. Which is quite small, and this is with static linking of libFLTK. That was basically it for this video. I hope you enjoyed, and hopefully I'll be creating more videos soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.